And we are back with another Monday preview, guys. It's a busy, busy week in Blackhawk Town. First, we've got two matchups with the Minnesota Wild. One home on Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day. Should be a fun St. Patrick's Day game. It'll be the first Nick Foligno coming back post-trade deadline. And then one away on Thursday. So one in Chicago on Tuesday, one in Minnesota on Thursday. At the time of recording, Minnesota Wild are third out of eighth in the Central. They're sitting comfortably at number 3 behind Colorado and Dallas. And their last 10 are 6-2-2. Previous matchup with them was prior to the Olympic break, January 27th. It was a shootout loss, unfortunately, for the Blackhawks. Injured reserve, you're looking at Brink day-to-day with an upper body, and then Marcus Foligno day-to-day with a lower body injury. So their injured reserve list isn't too lengthy. Some new acquisitions and bye-byes with the Minnesota Wild post-trade deadline. You've got Vinny Hinostroza was sent to the Florida Panthers. You've got Nick Foligno coming to the Minnesota Wild, and then a switch between Brink and Jiricek for Minnesota. Notable forwards include Kaprizov, Boldy, Brink if he's back, and Eriksson Ek, and then your most notable defensive guys are Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber. Goaltending tandem is going to be Philip Gustafsson and Jesper Wallstedt. Again, I'm assuming one guy is going to get the net for Tuesday and one guy is going to get the net for Thursday. Unsure how they're going to do it, but I would imagine whoever, maybe Gus on Tuesday, Wallstedt on Thursday, or vice versa. But it'll be the same thing with the Hawks. You'll get one Tuesday and one Thursday. Big things. And we talked about this last week. The boys really don't know how to hold a lead. Hold the lead. We've seen this issue come up in the past couple of games, and this happened during our last matchup with Minnesota. We can have a lead on them. They know how to put the puck in the net against Minnesota, but it's just maintaining that lead. So that's going to be a huge thing. And if we could just keep the feistiness that the Blackhawks had against during those Utah matchups, that would be great. That's really a theme for the week, is just like keep the feistiness vibe from the Utah games going into this week, because everybody that we're facing is in the Central. And other biggest takeaway for the Minnesota Wild is please, please, please keep the puck away from Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy. But like I said, we have two matchups. We've faced them before. We're getting into the period of the season where, there's no new matchups. We've faced Minnesota before. We'll have one home, one away. St. Patrick's Day game on Tuesday should be fun, and we'll see. Then we've got a Colorado Avalanche matchup this week. They are sitting first out of eighth in the Central. Their last 10 are 8-2-0. Their injured reserve, you've got Colton on day-to-day with an upper body, Landeskog day-to-day with lower body, O'Connor, LTIR, and then Laakkonen is day-to-day. Trade deadline, biggest thing for the Colorado Avalanche is Nazem Kadri is back. We talked about this last week. It just makes their depth at the center level even more insane by adding Nazem Kadri. But I'm very excited to see him back in Colorado. You could tell that he liked being in Colorado, and based on the reception that he got for his first game, Colorado also loved him. So happy to see that he's back for the Avalanche. Notable forwards include McKinnon, Kadri, Nelson, Natchez, Landy, and Laakkonen if they're back. If not, unfortunately, they're still on IR. Defensive guys, Cale Makar and Devon Taves. And then goaltending tandem, you've got the Woods, Wedgwood, and Blackwood. It is a back-to-back for us, so we'll play Thursday, and then we play Friday. They don't have a back-to-back. The Avalanche don't. They play on Wednesday and then Friday. So, again, I would imagine, similar to the Minnesota matchup, whoever you're getting, one night it's going to flip to the other unless one of the Woods is riding really hot. Last matchup against them was February 28th, right after post-Olympic break. They lost 3-1. This one's just going to be a rough one. I want to be positive just because I'd like to see these kids win some of the last handful of games. But Colorado Avalanche are number one in the NHL at the time of recording. You figure maybe Spencer gets the net for this one because I'm figuring in my head Spencer gets the net for the St. Patrick's Day game. Bloom will get the net for Minnesota away. And then you put Spence in net for Colorado. Again, we'll see. It's going to be a very, very long week, and especially weekend with a back-to-back-to-back heading into this weekend. Again, if we could keep the attitude and bring back the feistiness level from the Utah matchups. Also, by this point, we could have a new addition in Sasha Boisvert. We're unsure of when he's going to sign, but it seems imminent that he will show up at some point this week. And rounding off, we got the Nashville Predators this weekend as well. At the time of recording, they're sitting 5th out of 8th in the Central. Their last 10 are 3-4-3. The only injured reserve guy that they've got is Willsby out on a day-to-day for lower body. Only trade deadline acquisition for the Preds that was notable is Michael Bunting being sent to Dallas for a 3rd-round pick in exchange. Is a back-to-back for Nashville. They play at home versus Vegas on Saturday, and then they'll play in Chicago on Sunday. We have a day off. That's fantastic. Notable forwards is Forsberg, Stamkos, O'Reilly, and Wood. Defensive is Josi and Shea, and goaltending tandem is Saros and Annunen. Gosh, guys, I'm really hoping we get UC Saros in net. Both goaltenders are good, but Annunen really seems to have the number on the Hawks. We've struggled against him not only when he was in Nashville, but when he was in Colorado as well. So I'm hoping that Annunen's not in net for the Sunday matchup, to be honest. Last matchup was the first game back from the Olympics. And it was a little bit of rough sauce, just getting back into the swing of things. So hopefully they have a bit more energy and can come out a bit more from the jump with this matchup on Sunday. And as far as goaltending tandem for us, I'm not sure. It's a lot of hockey that the boys have this week. I would imagine if Spencer's in net against the Avs, then Bloom gets the net for Nashville, unless Spencer stands on his head on Friday and they decide that they want to give him another game. But again, we will see. So like I said, we've got 2 Minnesota games. We've got Colorado, and then we've got Nashville to wrap up the week.